Now, what better way to finish this show than with our Good Causes segment, where we shine a spotlight on an individual or a group of individuals who've just gone above and beyond to make our world a better place. And today I'm delighted to be joined by a man that, through his own life experiences, created a charity to help those in need. I'm delighted to be joined by Stewart Roberts, who, after founding the charity Haircuts4Homeless UK in 2014, now has 68 sites across the UK with over 600 volunteers and over 40,000 haircuts delivered so far. Well done, you.
Thank you, sir.
Two steps back, though, because I said in the introduction, it was your own life, your own experiences that made you think this needs to be done.
Well, I came across it by accident in a way, because I'm 15 years sober, and at the time I was doing some buddying at the local Salvation Army for addictions, and I saw a guy in America cutting hair on the street, and I thought next week I'll come and cut hair, and it just changed my life.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, as it were, this item last week was a young lad who also had alcohol challenges.
Right.
And he'd created an app that told you where a great coffee bar was, where you could get something, or a non-alcoholic drink. I mean, it's great, because otherwise you can go the other way and just, life is terrible. And Timpson's, the shoe repairers and key people, they do a similar thing for folk who are out of work but have got a chance of a job interview. Yeah. So they give them a suit.
Yeah.
If you go there with lank, dirty hair, you can't blame an employer for saying, "No, sorry, sunshine, you're not for us."
We get asked all the time that the sessions that we do are street homeless, but sometimes they're residential, and often we have someone who says, "Oh, I'm so glad you're in today because I've got a job, opportunity tomorrow." It just gives them the confidence.
Yeah. And you, from those challenges that you faced yourself, you also then came across the Sally Army.
Yeah.
Who another pin-up organisation of mine, because although they are faith-based to a degree, but they don't tell you what to believe. They don't tell you have to go to church.
No. My work now has gone across all sorts of aspects, and I've worked with Muslims and Sikhs and all different faiths. And the main thing is people helping people.
How's the pandemic been? I mean, in two senses. One, is demand up or down? And secondly, how do you cope with people who suddenly, it's a life chance of getting a job, they desperately need a haircut, but you can't see them, or you could see them?
Well, we was flying. We'd really built. I spent 5 years really building it. Then we got hit with that. Obviously, we had to down tools, but since April, we've been getting back out there. We're pretty much back to where we were, and it's like. It's a very difficult thing to go through. We found it hard to go through the pandemic, but when you're on the street and you've got all of that added on top. I mean, one guy said to me, I got to a point where I thought, if I get it, I'll get it. If I die, I die. And it's those sort of things are really hard. That it hits it home how difficult it must have been for him out there.
I mean, I hadn't thought of this before you said that. It's one of the great cliches, isn't it? You go to a hairdresser, man or woman or whomsoever, and it's a great place for gossip and going on holiday, this sort of thing. But your clients, I guess, are sharing slightly more profound matter.
Yeah, because of my life experience and my empathy.
Exactly.
I tend to draw that out as well. I mean, I don't preach either, but if someone wants to talk about anything like that, I've got that background where I can, open up about that stuff.
I'm a patron ambassador, to get the language right, of Crisis, but there are many terrific homeless charities out there, Mungo's, Shelter, all sorts of ones, but Crisis is the one, because a very dear friend of mine used to be the boss there.
Right.
And what's your relationship with them? Do they work with you?
With all of those people, they all... At the moment, we're getting flooded with inquiries from those, because they say, look, we need you to come. Particularly at the moment, we've got a lot of refugees coming over, so they want us to help out with that. It's just getting the volunteers on the streets, not on the streets, back in the centres. It's getting motivated people to come back and help again. Because we only asked of our volunteers 2 hours once every 6 weeks. That's all we asked for. It only works out about 16 hours a year. So it's not too much to give. And if you can't give that, you maybe need to look at the balance in your life.
You say get the volunteers back. So the pandemic, as it were, forced the volunteers away for all of those rules of businesses closing down and social distancing.
Yeah.
and you're dealing with folk who are homeless and in need, and you're trying to give them a leg up. But the volunteers, I'm guessing that they've had a tough old time of it as well.
Incredibly, and
Yeah.
a lot of our volunteers slipped through the net. So some have got home salons, they didn't get the financial support. Some have gone bankrupt. So we were support, as much as we were supporting our guests, we were supporting our volunteers as well throughout the pandemic. You know.
You call them guests?
Yeah, they're our guests. Yeah.
How did you come to that as opposed to clients, customers?
It just evolved. There are some salons that like to call them guests, and it fitted so well with what it is, because our utmost thing is respect. You know, I want to treat my guests the same as you would be treated when you go and get your cut.
Yeah.
And that's as much as we can, we make it the same experience.
Do you, you're not a statistician, and there's absolutely no reason why you should be, but the numbers I mentioned in the intro of the number of haircuts and guests that you've helped, and
Yeah.
are they good at keeping in touch? Do they let you know how it's gone, or do they,
Yeah.
break off, I've finally got a job, that's great, oh, forget him.
Yeah,
I don't mean that nastily, but they're so excited to move on.
They do, but also we get, I mean, somehow my number's out there, and I was just grabbing some lunch yesterday, and a guy phoned me, he said, I need a haircut, I've got a job. I said, it devastates me. I said, I'm so sorry, mate. We were out there like Monday to Wednesday, but, we're still trying to get it, we want to be there, 7 days a week in everywhere we can. And sometimes we can't help, but, but I don't have the chat, and I hope the chat helped him.
Yes.
To forward to that,
Self-confidence that
Yeah.
can flow from, and I know with homeless people, sometimes the fact that somebody just bothered to talk to them at all.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know but we're doing a crowdfunding. We've got a book going that when it comes out, it's going to be amazing, because we've got a photographer, Jack Eames, who's followed us for 2 years. He's taken these most stunning images, and our aim is to humanise the face of homelessness. And, in doing so, all the profit's going to go back into Haircuts for Homeless, because we're struggling to get funds, as a lot of people are. But the thing is it's making people realise that these are human beings. It's not just the guy on the end of the street calling you thing. We're coming across all walks of life, all ages, all denominations,
Totally agree with that. I gather some famous faces have helped out a wee bit as well.
Yeah, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, she's our ambassador.
Wow!
Oh, she's our ambassador. She's on the front. She come and cut hair with me in the Whitechapel Mission, and I had to. She gave my favourite comb away. I've still not got it. But
If you're watching, he wants his comb
yeah,
back.
it cost me 20 quid, that did. But she's fantastic, and that's the thing of not just being in name, that she really does help us.
30 seconds, and I mean that. What
Yes.
do you personally most enjoy about it?
I know how much I needed it once it was taken away. Those 4 months affected me, because I wasn't doing what I need to do, because it makes me better.
Stuart Roberts, congratulations. Thanks to all of the volunteers.
Yeah.
And good luck to all of the guests.
Yes.
I love that. That's my big takeout from this programme today.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, and thank you for finding time for us.
Thank you.
That's it from me today and my delightful guests across the whole piece. It's been a real pleasure these last 3 hours. I've thoroughly enjoyed your company, and particularly hearing from you today. I will be back tomorrow at midday, where we'll be covering all of the stories that matter to you most, asking for your thoughts and sharing with you my thoughts. But until then, have a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and from me and the whole team, a very good afternoon to you. Bye-bye.